where we want to, as much as possible, look into this gray area that no one dares to touch. That is matters inheritance, and I can tell you, one of the most expensive fees you will probably encounter is on matters inheritance, because majority of our people think once you start discussing on who should inherit what comes into their mind is probably you are bidding them goodbye. But that should not be the case, because what we say is silence is very, very costly than actually talking. And what you'll note is silence oftenly creates what we call confusion, and confusion creates conflict. So we have been in this industry for quite some time, and I've observed a few things happening, especially once our patriarch or our matriarch actually dies, and it becomes very, very difficult for those who've been left to actually manage the situation. You'll agree with me that the people who are between the age 60 to about 75 are the most managed people currently, and they really want to engage on those particular matters. And because of possibly the perception we've had that if you see someone wanting to distribute his wealth, probably what is coming is only God knows. Yeah, I want to give you a story of what happened last year. I actually have a friend of mine whom we grew up together, and his father was, he was quite wealthy, because unfortunately he's no more. Last year he had a heart attack, and the family plunged into chaos because no one actually knew where the documentation were, who should run the business. And what they had is a school, and the school could only be operated, or any bank account related to that school could only be operated by the mzee. Unfortunately, he was no more, and all the bank actually was requiring is a letter of administration, or something we call a grant of probate, if at all the mzee had set out or had put down a will. Now, it became very, very chaotic, because one of the brothers, or one of the sons of mzee, was actually quite uncooperative, and he wanted to have the right to control the school. Unfortunately, he was not the best person suited to do that work. And when there are disputes in regards to what you own, it even becomes very, very difficult and very, very expensive when you even go to court. So back to our main thing. Now the school is still going on. Unfortunately, they are in a financial crisis because they can't provide the required document by the bank, and we understand that it is increasingly very, very difficult for you to have or to get access to the money in the bank, because our Kenyan bank system does not actually, or it's not framed like those advanced countries, whereby if you die today, your spouse could automatically take over. In Kenya, it will require some several steps, and it is very, very, there are no particular document you are required to sign upfront who are still alive that could help your family bypass that probate process. And this is the conversation I want us to have the whole of this month. And I want to appeal to you, if you have a case or you have a friend who have actually gone through that painful process of succession, we can bring him on board. We talk to him so that we are able to learn and also avoid these very expensive mistakes we might do while still drawing the will, or while planning for financial matters. So God willing, we shall also bring people who are deeply rooted or very experienced in matters to do with will writing, and possibly trust advisory, so that we can get to understand in a better way and in a clearer way on how we can prevent or avoid this problem. We have seen a lot of people with wealth, but the only thing that actually dilutes their wealth is when there are no structures. You hear that 70% of our people who are aged between 50 up to and above don't actually want to have any discussion to do with a will, or inheritance. And we want to be very, very open so that our community can learn a thing or two in regards to this particular field. So until we meet in the next episode, it's God bless.